always brings mysteries.
Let's see here. Hold on a second. This should be private, so no one else should be seeing it. Is your audio working good?
Yeah, I can turn the volume up here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, I can hear you. I'm plugged in.
No background feeding?
No, sir.
Huh. Hey, Mel, I thought you were white.
Really? Well,
I can't lie. I didn't know.
That's hilarious. Well, I was adopted up here to a Mennonite family. I'm not ready for Pennsylvania.
You're Amish?
Ex-Amish.
Shut the fuck up. You are not. You are not, right?
No, I was raised by Mennonites, but I'm not. Seriously, I was adopted up here. I grew up on a farm, and then after that, I went to the Marine Corps, got into the trades, but I'm not Mennonite myself.
Hey, welcome to all our no viewers, Mel.
It's all good. It's Friday night.
Yeah, for sure. For anybody just watching this video, just stopping by. Oh, shit. We got another one here. We're going to pop her in. Hey, Coral, I'm just doing my introduction here. If you give me a second. We're doing a live stream update on Mel Winters. This family-friendly, Coral. You got to put that out.
Why?
But anyways, we're doing... we're doing a live stream for Mel Winters, who is a newer HVAC business owner.
Hi, Mel.
We're just kind of going over what he's going through in his first 3 weeks, and we're kind of recording it for you. So if you're thinking about it, or if you're a technician and you want to kind of understand what it's like to go from technician to business owner, we're hoping to document that live for you here, even though we have no viewer. Where are you at, a Walmart, Coral?
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. I'm outside of a really cool place called Rail Yard. I had a killer day today. And we're getting ready for our company manager meeting dinner.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You had to use that manager meeting dinner adjective.
I'm not a manager, kind of, but I mean, we have to be there because we're all about building teams and success. So if that's what this podcast is about, then I'm so glad I chimed in right now, because honestly, if you take care of your people will take care of your clients, right? Just take care of your people.
So who's paying tonight?
The bosses, the big wigs.
It's a real good dinner.
The big wigs. So all I'm saying is, if you really want to have a super duper successful company, then please take care of your employees. The better I'm taken care of, my clients love it. And I want to go out and be super duper successful, which it happens.
Well, tell us about your week, Coral. I know you don't have a long time. Yeah, your week.
What day is it today? Friday. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. Well, kind of. I work 7 days a week, right? I mean, we work all the time. We're on call. We're in the HVAC business. And when people call, we got to be there, right? So we go. We work 24/7, 365. I don't care. My week has been very well. Today I did $77,000 in sales. So
Replacement sales, AIQ.
it was a little bit of everything. Today it was mostly replacement with about 7,000 in indoor air quality, but I am ending the day with 78,767 in sales. I think, Rennie, I sent you a picture. Did you get it?
Wow.
Yeah, I got it.
What did I finish with?
It was like 75, 76 grand. It was quite a
Yep.
bit.
That's freaking outstanding. That's better than good.
That's a good month.
That's a good day. So it's
But
good.
what happened at the beginning of the week? Did you not do anything and saved it all up for today, or what?
Yeah, at the beginning of the week, it was a little bit rough. I mean, we didn't have a lot of calls on the board. We made the best out of every opportunity we had. I mean, that's all you can really do. But our momentum really built up towards the end of the week. We ended up putting out a lot of incentives, right? So we did some incentives for Google reviews. Our technicians that went out and got 5-star reviews ended up getting like $25 perks, things like that,
$25 don't do nothing for you, does it, Coral?
Well, it does a lot for a lot of people, right?
For sure, but where you're at, I mean,
I don't as long as my team is out there giving 5-star service and getting 5-star reviews, I have done my job. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Mel is into it, right? Hi, Mel.
How are you doing? I'm loving these numbers, and I would love to get with you and pick your brain sometime.
That costs money. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm
kidding. That's why Rennie blasts me on these things, just so he can pick my brain a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're in a groove. You're in a groove, and your momentum is flowing. So
I've been in a groove my entire life. I can do this with any company, right? But because my company takes care of me, I stay.
Right.
Right.
Makes sense.
So I know what I can do, and I choose to do it for my company, right? Because I'm taken care of. I am. They give perks and they treat me well and they have my back. Right. And if you are looking into, you said you're how many months into the business, or you're a tech turning into a business owner?
Yes.
Which one? That was a specific question.
Yes, I've been doing a while, but I finally actually had a business turnaround where it's been profitable within the last 2 to 3 weeks.
How many employees do you have?
Too many.
Yeah. I got about myself and 3 other guys.
He's just kind of getting going.
And that's perfect. That's perfect, right? So as far as your other guys are concerned, is it you and an installer and a salesman and a maintenance tech, or how are you doing it?
I would say PM tech, myself, and an installer.
So a preventative maintenance.
Yes.
All right. Do you know that that's where all of your money is?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Do you know that preventative maintenance is where all of your money is?
No, I would have said replacements.
That preventative maintenance tech is going to get you your replacement calls.
Okay.
Right? Right?
Absolutely.
For sure. You build those estimates, you build the momentum, you get him out there. We are amping out motors. We're looking at things. We're doing stuff, right? Your maintenance techs are the techs that are in front of your clients. If you're selling them maintenance agreements properly, they are the ones in the house 2 times a year. They are the ones planting the seeds. They are the ones building the farms. Your salesman comes in and makes all the money, right? Because the seeds were planted. Build that maintenance tech up. Give them what they need. And get a girl on your team, for Christ's sake.
I'm all about it, honestly. I'm not that I'm against that in any shape, way, or form. All about it, and I definitely think it's an advantage.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I mean, I taught out of school for a little while, and they recruited heavily when we had female students, more so than the males, for sure.
Yeah. Look at you.
What are the things that you recommend that he give the maintenance tech? What they
Hold
need
on.
to
Can I
do?
show you guys family oriented something real quick?
Absolutely, we love family.
Yeah. What'd you get, boo? This is what we do after a good day. We go out and we play.
Let's
What'd you
go.
get?
I got
What the hell?
1,050.
1,000 and 1,500, guys. Did you hear that? Wait, Jen, will you grab me a cigarette, please? Or the keys? But yes, ask your question again. I'm sorry, I'm walking to the side of the building. Sorry, guys. I'm a bit distracted, but I warned Ronnie about that.
What would you read? What would you say? What would I do that would make it successful for a PM tech to do his job and help grow sales and revenue, like you're saying? Maybe 3 things.
As a maintenance tech, right? As a maintenance tech, what I did is number one, huge. You got to build the value. You got to build the value of your company, and you got to sell your maintenance agreements. You got to be seeing your. Oh, by the way, what area are you in?
I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. If you've ever heard of Amish Town.
Oh, we're good. We're still good. I can still talk to you.
Yeah, where are you located?
I'm in Colorado.
Where at in Colorado?
I'm in Colorado Springs.
Oh, I got a good buddy that lives in Colorado Springs.
So I'm in Colorado Springs, but it's one of those things where I ain't giving my secrets to my competition. So, but Pennsylvania, we're clear.
Oh yeah.
We're good. No, but I mean, honestly, man, if you're looking at really good advice, and believe me, I don't know if you've heard about me or whatever the case may be. I'm not a business owner. I'm not. And I've only been out in the field for 1.5 years.
Wow.
But I do know how I would run a business. I would definitely take care of my employees. I would take care of my clients. And I mean, you will see the money for sure. Build the value in your company. If you're going to be a 5-star premier service, then be a 5-star premier service and don't undercut yourself. If you think for 1 second that you are going to sell an air conditioner for $2,000, fine. If you want to be the 2-minute a truck, go and do that. I won't sell an air conditioner add-on for under $9, and I don't care. I have the value behind me, right?
Right.
Don't go in and be the undercutter of the business and say, I just started my business. I'm going to sell all of my equipment for $7,000 less than the next guy. Don't do that.
Right.
You compete with the top dogs in this industry, and I don't care where you are, right?
Yeah, you definitely want to compete at the top.
You want to be competition.
Right.
You're nobody's competition if you're the underdog just slanging $2,000 furnaces. Screw you.
Yeah.
We all got overhead. We got parts. We got stuff. We got things that we got to pay for. We got bills. Don't be the undercutter. And that is probably one of my best pieces. And like I said, I don't even own a company. I'm not even an owner. I'm not even close to that. Right? But don't undercut the industry as a new owner and say, yeah, I won that bid for $2,000. No, you didn't. You lost. You didn't put value on it. You didn't put nothing on it, right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't be an undercutter, right? And that would be my best piece of advice, actually. Don't undercut your competition and think you're doing well. Don't do that.
Right.
What advice would you give a newer technician just entering the field trying to do what you're doing?
Train.
What kind of training?
Train.
Run Role play?
Role plays are fantastic. If you're not comfortable speaking in front of your peers, then you are not going to get that out to your client. It should be you should role play every meeting. That's the other thing too. How often are you having meetings with your team?
I just started doing them every morning.
At what time?
7.
Good. That's what I would do. 7 a.m. role plays. How was the day? Also, another really good piece of advice is honor every sale.
What do you mean by that?
Honor every sale.
Spiffs?
If you have somebody out there that sells $20, honor it. Put it in a group thread. Shout them out in the 7 a.m. meeting. Hey, Jose over here did $385 yesterday. Fucking good job. Mark over here did $7,850. Yes, you know what I mean?
Right.
Get it. Every sale is money, right? Do we all have $0 people? Yeah, we do. And $0 tickets. Yes, absolutely, for sure. But I don't care how big or how little that sale is, get it. And make the team excited to make those sales. Give them a spiff. Give them every maintenance agreement you sell for full price, $25, right?
Right.
People are money motivated. Yeah, it sucks that you have to turn to employees and say, hey, if you actually do your job, I'm going to give you an additional $50, but unfortunately, that's the industry we're in, and people are money motivated. So you have to give them extra spiffs. Money spiffs are money in your pocket, right? Anybody that sells an extra surge protector today gets $50 in their pocket. Slang the shit out of surges and watch your team pitch a surge on every call, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
But they're not going to pitch it if they haven't practiced it.
Why?
Well, I'm saying if they haven't practiced how to present that.
Well, they got to know how a surge works, and you know what I mean? Like, you got to know, are we doing a whole home surge? Are we doing a surge on just the disconnect? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? But that's not for me to say anything. That's for you as an owner to say, what do I want my team to pitch consistently on that? You know what I mean?
Right.
I want them on every single call. There should be an option built for a surge protector, period. Point blank, always pitch a surge. 1 out of 5 people are going to buy it. Whether they know about it or not, it doesn't matter. As long as it's on the estimate, 1 out of 5 people statistically proven are going to buy it. Right?
Perfect.
So that's why you got to build the estimates.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. Right?
Human nature, people are lazy.
Yeah, and lazy people are broke.
No, we're getting 300 extra in stimulus right now. We just can't come out of our house.
Oh, you're welcome. That would be me that paid for that also.
Steak dinner on Coral, huh?
Jesus. Fuck. Don't forget the lobster either.
It's round 4. We're going to round 4.
Hey, you guys keep this going for a second. My phone's ringing it for my work. Hold on. I want to remove myself.
Nope, no worries. Coral, I appreciate your insight, and I definitely want to get a girl on my team. I think it adds a unique dynamic and helps out the kind of the dichotomy of the team.
Right.
Bring out some of that professionalism. What do you think about bringing in a young girl versus, maybe somebody more seasoned like yourself?
I'm not seasoned.
Yeah.
At all.
What did you do before HVAC?
Huh?
What did you do before HVAC?
Well, I've always done sales pretty much my whole life. So, I mean, I have done medical sales. My best skills honestly come from being a bartender.
I believe that.
No, for real.
after work or?
Yeah, it's just fucking, most of my just dealing with people.
Yeah. Customer
Honestly,
service.
I don't need to tell you about your airflow and how many tons we're pushing and all of this crazy shit, right? Like I will, because I can now, because I've trained myself and I do training every day. I do technical training, I do life coaching, I do a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But honestly, I mean, there are a million better techs out in this world that we live in as HVAC technicians that are a billion times more knowledgeable than myself about HVAC systems and equipment and airflow and all of it. The beauty about hiring somebody like in sales or that deals with people or whatever is that we know how to speak to people. We can relate. I can walk into a house and be, I reflect my clients. We're salesmen. We're salesmen. And that's what we do. Right. And that's why I do what I do. So when people ask me like, oh, how long have you been in the field? Do you make all this money or whatever? No, man, I've been out in the field for a year and a half. I've been selling since I was 2. Right. So.
Wow. Good for you.
If you do end up, I do a lot of things for females, especially in the industry and the trades and everything like that. I love when people, Rennie, after our last episode, I had probably 18 females hit me up.
Nice.
For advice. Yes, it was awesome. I am here. I am ready. And I want to get more females in this industry and bring them up. So please, please, please. If somebody's on the fence, if they're not confident, if they want to speak to me directly, please, you are more than welcome to give them my phone number, and you can get it from Rennie. He will give you my phone number after the show, Mel, and we can go from there. But please send them over to me. I am so all about females in the industry, whether it's in the office, dispatch, parts manager, warehouse manager, service technician, sales, all of it. I love having my women in the field, for sure.
That's awesome.
Billy asked a question. He couldn't be on the live stream tonight. What's the best IAQ devices that you provide your customers, Coral?
I do a couple. So I am a really big fan right now of the iWave. I like the iWaves. Very, very, very low maintenance. Kills germs, viruses, bacteria, and also takes away dust. 24-volt filters. I almost won't sell a new system without them purchasing a 24-volt filter. Love to death. And right now, I am actually getting into water filtration. We have really bad water in Colorado, even though we're considered a mountain town and everyone thinks it's like crystal clear water coming out of our taps. It's not. It is bad water. And so I have taken it upon myself to learn about clean water, reverse osmosis, softeners, conditioners, what the difference is, what the different systems are. So now on every single estimate I go to, I am pitching clean water filtration, and that's my new thing. So I'm all about it.
Awesome.
Yep.
iWave, are you familiar with the Remy Halo?
I do like Remy's. I sold Remy's for a really long time. But in my experience and just my little experience that I have, I am finding that my clients with the iWave are enjoying it a little bit more.
Okay.
I am a big fan of the Remy. They're very easy to install. I would not sell a Remy for less than $2,000. Just so you know, if you're selling Remy's, you can get 2 G's. Okay.
Melly, believe in you.
All day, every day.
We got to talk. Do you have any videos? Do you have a YouTube page?
She might have videos, but not a YouTube video.
I do have videos. I have podcasts out there as well. If you Google Coral Whale HVAC, my podcast will show up.
Okay.
But yes, there is one specific podcast that I do speak very in depth about indoor air quality and water. Okay. All right. I have to go.
No worries.
I need a beer and I want to smoke. I jumped on for Rennie because I love him and I support him. I hope I didn't offend anybody.
No.
Not tonight.
Okay,
You're
good.
actually family friendly. So
Okay. I was, right? Are you proud of me?
I am. Like, holy cow, I caught you early enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. You have
Guys,
a good night.
Enjoy the rest of your night. And I look forward to talking to you, Mel, and best of luck to you.
Appreciate it. Congratulations. And
All right, Rennie, hit me up later. Okay.
Yep,
All right.
see
Thanks,
ya.
guys. Bye.
Bye. What do you think, Mel?
Wow. Again, I got to make a lot of adjustments. It's motivating to hear that, though. It's possible.
Yeah, she probably made 10 grand today.
Wow.
It's pretty incredible. So back to Mel. I know the live stream here. I got to make an announcement here. I'm getting texts and phone calls in a live stream. Trevor, I don't know anything about the 13th floor exhaust fan, and I'm not aware of any quotes. You'll have to go in the electrical closet because that's where the VFDs are at for the exhaust fans, and a lot of them have been bypassed. So by the time you get over there, if you have any questions, I should be off the live stream. Give me a call or text me, and if you have any questions, let me know. But okay, back to you, Mel. Sorry about that because I know he was watching or was watching. So let's dissect your week, and let's start with. I guess we could start with Saturday because that's when the day after. What did we do? You can't even remember what we did Saturday, can you?
I would love to, but honestly, I don't remember. I had multiple jobs that I needed to get done. So essentially, I needed 2 teams to be able to get that done. Wanted to knock the installs out because we were getting quotes for other ones. And while we were kicking up other work, we didn't want to have multiple jobs and not be able to get to them. And so I had two crews going, running 2 sites. I was going back and forth between the sites for those installs. I found myself struggling, trying to manage what was going on both sites. I would get one site at a good spot, take off and go to another one. I would go there and it would be some issue going on or some problem that needed to be resolved. Prior to this, it was just me. It wasn't really anybody else. And now in my 3rd week here, I have 2 crews, so it's about 3 people here. And again, it's just trying to manage the standard, the professionalism that we provide high quality comfort for our customers. So for me, it's been a big learning curve in putting people in the right spots, putting them in spots that kind of enhance their strengths. And then also just time management, knowing when to put a person on and when to put a person off on a job. What else?
I mean, 3 weeks ago, basically it was just kind of you doing your thing and kind of getting going. Then you had, some right out of the gate, you had some, what I would consider some quick success. You bought the truck, customers still coming in the door, had a few people come to you wanting to help you. But in the last 3 weeks, you've went from all the responsibility on your shoulder to now other people helping you do the work. And you're kind of, your whole kind of dynamic changed with your business. And what would your opinion be on from going from a technician to now being responsible for other people and dealing with the customers and still getting the work done? Is it a different skill set? I mean, because you're live and you're playing with real money now, and Absolutely. It's a little different, right?
Absolutely. I feel like the tech's a lot easier. You're just completing tasks. Whereas the owner, you're not only ensuring that those tasks get done, but you're also managing the people that do those tasks. You have to train them, recruit the right people, and you got to put them in the right places that they can succeed and do well. And I found The tech side is no problem. I got that side pretty well. You complete whatever the task is, and it's no problem. The management side, however, and the business side, a lot more variables to the equation. And there's some growing pains in this, and I'm definitely going through it right now. So I'm just trying to take it on the chin, learn as much as I can, and adjust. Proactive. I think being proactive is a huge thing I need to focus on. Just being proactive and being maybe 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, planning what's going to happen, writing down what I want to happen, and then measuring that and seeing how close and adjusting my goals to that is a good spot to be in. Where another area I've seen where I needed to improve this week.
Now let's I'm gonna throw a hypothetical at you. Let's say you were only half as busy as you were over the last 3 weeks. Do you think it'd been easier to manage, or do you think because of the workflow it became harder to manage? It was like stretching the rubber band pretty thin.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the workflow definitely changed the dynamics of it. More work, and you gotta do things different because now it's just not me trying to get the work done. It's multiple people getting this work done. And yeah, I was definitely stretched. You're stretched to the limit with that because you can't be at 2 places at one time, right? And these people are paying thousands of dollars for us to install quality air conditioning and heating systems for them.
So you need them to be right. And so you learn that, if you don't have the right people trained, then it ultimately falls back on you with either callbacks or dissatisfied customers, right?
Exactly.
So we can hurry up and get it done, but if we don't take the time to make sure that, it's right, then we're going to pay the ultimate price if you're the owner because, you're going to get the call.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think as techs, they don't really see that perspective. It's almost like, I feel like I have a 10,000 elevation view where they're at ground level, right? They're at ground level installing it. So a lot of those things they don't necessarily see from that perspective or that viewpoint. As a business owner, you better see that viewpoint. You have to see all those other things because they're going to come to you no matter what. And that's what this whole week was about. Get a better view of what's going on and put these things in the right places so therefore it can work.
Hey, my buddy Angel. Hey, Angel, nice to see you. Stop by. He's a chief engineer at a building that I service. Great dude. Love him.
Awesome.
He's
Shout out to engineers. I love engineers.
Yeah, he's real friendly, been nice. Pleasure to work at his building. Can't say enough good things about him. Yeah, I can. I'm just kidding, Angel. But so Mel basically, in a nice way, saying he got his ass kicked this week because I've been hearing it. I've been talking to him quite a bit during the days, and he had a little situation where an employee maybe didn't quite accomplish the task, and he was not too happy about it. Can you tell us how that made you feel, Mel, being the big HVAC business owner that you want to be? Because see, this is the thing. If you're an HVAC tech and you want to be an owner, this show is for you because we want you to see exactly what goes on. Yeah. It ain't all about making the big money, but you can make a lot of big money, but you're gonna experience some pain along the way. So let's tell us about that pain you experienced.
Mostly, for those of you who don't know, I've served in the Marines. I was a machine gunner, and there's some time, so I know what difficulty is. And this week was definitely something I would call difficult. But what I ran into, again, is just like trying to be at 2 spots at one time. I would run with one site, make sure that install was going good, and it was doing properly. And so on my way to the second site, I had given guys 4 hours to hang some ductwork or get things tied in. And about 2 hours into them being in that for the 4 hours, I head over and basically nothing was done. So I asked what was done, tell me 3 things that you did. And, they couldn't really give me one. I just felt frustrated. I almost felt like, wow, you just bring people in, you want to give them opportunity, help you build your dream, and in the process, help them build their dreams and support their families. So I don't know, it's pretty devastating. I took it kind of hard at first, and I had to, take a walk, take a breather, and realize this is part of it. Not, I think I would be not unwise of me to expect the employee to care as much as I care, and in my heart, and I felt like that's how I really felt. I want these guys to care as much as I wanted to feel about my business, but in reality, that's not the truth. So yeah, it was a harsh lesson. It was somebody personal to me and dear, and so I handled it in the best way I could, and just kept it, as positive, and tried to reinforce that we did have a good connection and we can make this work, but we have to come to an agreement that we're here to do a quality job every time, and that when we're here, we come in, we're here to do work. So.
Well, and that was an unknown, because if you'd have known that, you would have planned for it, but you don't know what you don't know, and you can't teach yourself something you didn't know. But Joe made a comment. Seems like getting a handle on how to work with employees, or should I say not getting a handle on it, kills a lot of new business growth. I agree. But I think we're going from basically a one-man operation, chucking a truck, to small business owner, and anybody that's ever done that knows that there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road, Joe. I'm not sure if you're a business owner yourself, Joe, but I don't know if you can plan for that. Like, I think Mel had that little project in a box, and he had people apply, assigned to that task, thinking in his mind that was going to get accomplished. And so when the employees don't get that accomplished, he didn't realize that they weren't going to get it accomplished. Otherwise, he'd have maybe made different arrangements, or maybe rescheduled that, or maybe scheduled two different guys. Bottom line is, it cost some money. The project didn't get done, and it's going to end up costing a little bit more money. As long as we don't lose money, it's not the end of the world. But occasionally, you will lose money. But it's how you adjust and learn to deal with that, I think, is what makes you a better business owner moving forward. Because you're always going to have something that you don't know pop up, and it's how you handle it, how you deal with it. Do you get it done? Do you pivot? You got to be flexible, and then not take all that stuff to heart, because if that little mistake that happened this week, if you let that bother, if it bothers you that much every time it happens, you're never going to want to be a business owner, because you ain't going to have the stomach for it, because you'll never be able to relax. What's your opinion on that, Mel? I mean, because you gotta kind of be flexible.
I agree 100%. You got to be flexible. You got to be able to kind of like overcome and adapt pretty quickly, and being flexible helps you to be able to overcome and adapt quickly. I could have lost my shit and just, said, hey, went at it and got loud and hooted and hollered. But I was thinking long term, like, this is, like you said, it's just a short-term problem. We can resolve this, and long term, we can learn from this and move a lot further, maybe, and I learned too, maybe in that situation, that employee was not in the best of situations. In another situation, he might prosper very much so. So,
yeah, you don't want to just start throwing away people because they disappointed you once.
Right.
I mean, as a business owner, we got to take ownership of that. Did we put him in a bad spot, or that person in a bad spot to not be successful because of training, or maybe they don't have the skill set? The bottom line, it always got to fall on you. If the employee makes a mistake, it's management's fault. As the owner, you got to take responsibility for it. How could I have done that different?
Right.
And, I think that's how you grow. And the more you learn how to deal with that, in my opinion, the more successful you can be, because you can avoid those pitfalls and you can kind of see them coming. Like, let's be honest, you knew the guy wasn't quite as trained as you were hoping he would be in your mind, because It was a very simple task. But to him, it might have been more of a challenging task, because he hasn't done 1,000 of them, maybe like you have. So when he doesn't do it, maybe not quite as fast as you would do it, but when he doesn't stay on focus and stay on task to get the project done, it's easy for you to get frustrated. But reality is here's the deal. If he'd have known how to do that task and done it efficiently, you wouldn't even be having this conversation.
I agree.
Right. I mean, because he would know that, there's no reason to stop him from putting that in or doing the work. And he probably didn't even realize you're going to be upset, and maybe he didn't have the courage to call and say, hey, I'm not really sure, or I'm nervous, or, who knows why. So it's definitely chalk it up to learning. How would you say your workflow has been for new customer acquisitions? Did you sell any maintenance agreements? How many service calls you run? What are you having success with the customer base that you are serving right now?
Yeah, so I'm doing a good bit of service for Choice Home Warranty. I think this week we ran like 7, and all of them were turned into maintenance agreements. They've been great for turning into maintenance agreements and customers. A big thing for us right now is indoor air quality and duct cleanings. Been focusing on marketing my local Facebook and Instagram here, and that's been kicking up a lot of duct cleanings with us, just by showing videos of what we're pulling out, what's happening. That's keeping our funnel pretty filled also. And also during maintenances, we're doing free duct inspections and dryer vent inspections. So that's also helping to kick up some work. We do have some installs that are coming in and that we are completing from my existing customer database. Right now, besides the service calls and all that, training is an area I want to really attack, and we're going to start meeting up here at 7 in the morning and start doing some training for an hour every day. And I think that'll definitely help eliminate a lot of questions and gray areas, and just kind of standardize things for these guys, processes and procedures.
Well, and I think, you need to be on the jobs a little bit more on the installs to make sure that, monkey see, monkey do. You kind of, hey, this is how we put a disconnect on. And we do it the same every time. This is, that's how people learn. They watch, and then they do, and then they teach. And, you being a previous instructor, I'm sure you're well aware of that, but you got to kind of set the expectations of what you're looking for on the work being accomplished. It just sounded like you were stretched really thin this week. And if there was a way, you'd probably look back and go, is there a way I could have slowed down and maybe been more effective and still got the work done? But I mean, here's the deal. You're building a business, trying to service the customers, schedule customers, buying equipment, dealing with all the behind the scenes stuff of the business, and be like the technician. I mean, that's, everybody wants to be an HVAC business owner thinking that they're going to make all the money, but there's so much stuff going on behind the scenes that it's hard to even get to the front line with the customer. Being with the customer is the easy part. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that part.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Because everything about building the business, you have to learn, and you don't know necessarily the right way to accomplish certain things.
I agree.
It's trial and error.
I agree. Yeah, definitely a big learning week for me. I'm excited though. Basically I learned from the mistakes that these are things I need to train my guys on. That was something you mentioned. I like that perspective. Mistakes basically train you on what you need to train your guys on. Being a previous instructor, that's perfect.
Well, and then when you bring more people on, you'll already kind of have an idea of what things you need to talk to them about, right?
Right. Exactly.
So if you master learning this and training them and understanding what the technicians may or may not know or need as you grow, you'll already be ahead of the game because you already had these hurdles. You can go to college, but they can't teach you this. Right? You know what I mean? You can sit in a class, but they can't tell you how that felt when your guys didn't get the job done.
Yeah. I went to school for it. It didn't help me at all this week.
Yeah. It's weather's starting to pick up. What's your week looking like already scheduled before anything new comes through customer wise?
We got duct cleaning. So again, we sold all those duct cleanings via social media. So we got to go fulfill those duct cleanings. I got a guy that's strictly a duct cleaner at this point, so he's going to be doing duct cleanings. And IAQ, we're amping up our IAQ offerings. I got some video books that are awesome. Kind of allows the technician to give it to the customer, and the customer watch 4 short videos and kind of explains the product and the features of it and the benefits. So that's been kind of nice while they're doing the duct cleaning, the other guy's fogging. The customer can look over that. And we also have some installs coming, some straight ACs. I got to get some quotes out and visit people. The temperature's amping up here. It was 88 today. And it's looking to be in the 90s for sure. So for sure, more work will be coming in. Choice home warranty keeps me pretty busy. On the service side, it's just completing those calls as well, signing maintenance agreements. They've been great for building my customer base. Pretty much every customer I go to on Choice Home Warranty, we get some maintenance agreement, which has been great for building and having work for the future.
Hey, being 3 weeks into this live stream, is there a little PC that wishes you could just go back to the first week when it was easy? I mean, right? I mean, because I'm watching.
When the wave was high, right? When the wave was high, right? It was good.
Well, it was a little simpler because things weren't really clicking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just me, right? I can manage myself pretty easily. I know what I will do. Yeah.
Is it everything you thought it was going to be, or what? I mean, looks like your brother jumped on. I mean, it's like
it's been nonstop. I'm up late, up early, always preparing, trying to get ahead as much as I can. From cleaning the vans out at night to making sure everything's on there, to making sure stock's on it, making sure the vehicles have fuel for the next day, so we're not wasting time to go and get fuel in the mornings, to making sure the guys have clean shirts. I mean, I'm doing laundry of uniforms just to make sure the guys come in with clean shirts. And I don't got to hear, hey, I don't have my shirt. Hey, I washed it. Here's the shirt. Here's your hat. Yeah, it's been long. I definitely got whipped this week on my 3rd week for sure.
Well, you're saying you're going to take a day on Sunday unless you get some kind of emergency, I'm sure.
Yes.
But you need to take those steps back and reflect on what you're going to do moving forward because, yeah, it looks like your brother said he's tired. He's going back to Florida. I said you're out of shape, Jeff. So you stick with those keyboards and help him out. But this is back-breaking work. I'm whipped too. I worked a lot this week myself, so I understand. But if you're not used to this trade, it's tiring. The heat makes it harder. The hotter it gets, the busier we get, which is like, you got to be physically ready for it. You got to stay well hydrated. The time to drink water isn't when you need it. It's, you want to start hydrating. I do it 18 to 12 hours prior to, the day. I'm getting my body ready because when that 90-degree hits and I'm starting to lug stuff up the stairs, and if I haven't drank the water, that's the time I need it. And then you'll start getting cramps, you get lightheaded, you could injure yourself. A lot of people don't realize this, and I'm sure you do, but we're industrial athletes. So we've got to eat good, which is very hard to do with our busy schedules. We have to stay in shape, limit the alcohol and other stuff. And, and then we got to drink lots of water. And that, I don't know if I could have done that when I was younger, but now as I'm at my age, I'm pretty serious because I want to be in peak condition when I'm out there under these extreme conditions, because sometimes I'm in places that are 90, 100, 110 degrees, and I got to think straight and be able to perform. And everywhere I go, something's broke. You know what I mean? So, you got to stay in shape. So hopefully this week you'll learn from your mistakes. I'm sure you're going to have some stuff pop up that you haven't maybe handled before or dealt with before. I know before the live stream we talked about some adjustments maybe on the personnel, which I think are key, especially as you're growing. I've never vomited in the gutter, Joe. Have you ever vomited in the gutter, Joe? I've never done it. How about you, Mel?
No, I vomited a lot of runs, but not in the gutter.
Well, I was, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I was running emergency service on Tuesday. Had a plant shut down, then we opened up the boiler, and I had to descale the boiler Tuesday in a plant, and then I had an emergency service call, and I had to like climb up a fireman's ladder. Then I had to put another extension ladder on the roof, jump onto a different roof, and I get right in front of this 1986 condenser, and all of a sudden I felt my stomach grumbling, and it was like 6 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I hope I can make it down off this roof. It was a tight spot to be in, but I made it. It was close. Yeah, I thought I had a turtle in my underwear. I made it, but yeah, it was. And then I come back on the roof with my megger because I had to get the megger to meg out this compressor for this air conditioner, and the compressor was bad. And it was funny. I tell the story. It was getting dark. It was a little bit late. 1986 Carrier 3-phase 5-ton condenser. And it was just me and the condenser, and it was quiet, and I gave it its last rites, and I appreciated it bringing me on overtime to
condemn you.
Yeah, it's like we had like this, last rites, like, hey, you lived a good life, or you have any regrets? I know you have some fuses here, and it gave me 4 hours overtime. That's the kind of unit I like.
Why not?
You know what I mean? Like, it lasted so long, and then even on its way out, it wanted to pay me some more. It was pretty good. But yeah, that's like my funny story of the week. Here's what we got to figure out now: customer acquisition.
Yes, sir.
What are we doing to get more customers this week? I mean, I know your brother's blowing up your social media stuff.
Yep.
He's doing a great job. We probably want him to continue that. Are you spending any money on that, by the way?
No, I'm not. Just some basic strategy. You want to get like pretty much up to like 1,000 to 5,000 friends on your Facebook that are local, and then you want to market that by content. So posting content of what you're doing every day. So basically, we just videotaping what we're doing in the mornings that I give classes. So I started like a training blog. I give training in the morning, and we videotape it and we post it. That way, not only can we see it, but if our guys need to reference it, they can go back and see, all right, this is how we do a duct cleaning. This is how you work the duct cleaning machine. This is how you put it together. This is how you take it apart. And we'll start doing that on calls, some service, even on some installs. And I think that'll be huge, kind of build a library.
And then we talked about taking some older equipment and actually building some trainers in the shop.
Yes, which I have. I have a nice Carrier, 2-ton AC gas furnace.
There ain't no such thing as a nice Carrier.
All right.
Hey, I'm just kidding. If Carrier wants to reach out to me, I'm more than happy to sponsor you. You guys have bought me a lot of stuff through the years working on your equipment, and I really appreciate it. So we didn't mean that in a bad way. So anyways, but sorry about that. Your trainer.
You're good. Trainer. I got that. The guys are actually coming in tomorrow to start working on that.
It's Saturday, Mel.
What's that?
It's Saturday. Give them a day off.
Well, they can train for about 2 hours and then we're good. I'd rather get a little bit ready and just kind of make sure we're all in the same expectations for next week. And just say this is what we learned and this is how we can attack better. I'm all about strategy, but you also got a plan too before you execute that strategy. It's harder to do it on Monday. If we can do it now, then they have Saturday to think about it, Sunday to think about it, and then come Monday, they're ready to execute.
The only person thinking about it is you. just so you know. They ain't thinking about it, Mel.
They're willing to show up. I got a free meal for them. They're willing to show up for 2 hours and learn some stuff, learn how to sell some AIQ, what it is. I kept some duct work that we took out. I'm going to do some duct cleaning in it, run the machine through it. It'll be good. If you make it engaging, it's one thing I learned from being an instructor. If you make it engaging, people enjoy it. If you just have them sitting there and you're going to do PowerPoint slides, then yeah, see you tomorrow. So for me, the training thing is just making it engaging. Just like you said earlier, learning is social. As long as you keep it social, where it's interactive, people like it.
Hey, two things. If you're just chiming into this live stream and you're interested in the HVAC, or you're maybe a business owner, at the beginning of this, if you didn't catch it, I had Coral Whale on here from Colorado Springs. She's probably the top HVAC salesperson in the industry right now, in my opinion, in residential. Did 75,000 in business today. So you're probably going to want to go back and watch the beginning of this. Joe asked a question, and I apologize, Joe. I just seen it. You like working with that warranty company? Anything you can go over with how they pay? So tell them what strategy you're using with the home warranty company that you're signed in with, if you don't mind, Mel.
Absolutely. So I use Choice as my main provider of work. I've signed up for a couple other ones. They haven't really turned on quite a bit. But with Choice, I do gas furnace, AC, heat pumps, and some water heater change outs. And I've learned to be kind of selective about what I choose. I don't want to drive 3 hours or an hour and a half away, so I tend to choose things that are a little closer, especially during busy season. Now, if we're slower, I might send a guy out a little further. So you definitely got to be selective about what you choose. You can do some counterintelligence. If you do get a call, you can kind of look it up, see when the house was built. If you get on even Google Earth, you can zoom in and kind of see kind of there. So you can see the conditions of things. And for me, that's been helpful, because if I can look online, see the age of the unit in the system, that tells me kind of, okay, where this is kind of going. So that's been very helpful to me. If you're looking for, just as you're starting out, it's a great way to build your customer basis. Every customer that I went on for the Choice, I've been able to sell a service agreement. Think about it, they're calling you and you're going out. Clearly, they don't have a maintenance agreement, and that's some of the cause of the issues that they're having. It's not being maintenance and cleaned. So if Choice is sending you out, they don't have one, or they'd be calling that company. So that's kind of been my strategy to the game. Let's say the pay part of it is kind of tricky. So there's a fixed amount that you get for a service fee going out. Let's just say, 75 that you get for going out. Now, if you go out and you find an issue, and that issue is not covered under warranty and it's denied, then it becomes a direct retail customer directly to you, and you just sell things at your price. However, if it's something that they're covered, the job needs to be done underneath a certain amount through the home warranty company that they desire. So that's where it can get kind of, you got to choose the ones that best fit your niche market and your niche of what you do. And that's that's been my strategy to it. And there's plenty of other guys out there who have strategy. Billy from Rocket Heating and Air has been a huge help and friend in helping me navigate that and understand that better. I'm no expert by any means. He's been doing it a lot longer. But yeah, that's my 2 cents about it.
Well, and then we've done live streams last Friday. If you go to my channel, subscribe, you can look in the, and I appreciate that. It helps channel grow. We're trying to document in this live stream what it's like to go from technician to business owner and growing. And I have a lot of stuff on my YouTube channel about starting and running an HVAC business. Now, if you've never heard of me, I started one from scratch and built it up after 5.5 years, cashed out, sold it, built it from just me to 1.7 million a year in revenue, with a full team underneath me, full-time people working for me as well. But Mel had reached out to me through email. My email's in the description. So if anybody has a question or wants, a comment or whatever, you can email me. But Mel, a little over 3 weeks ago, emailed me, and I started, just kind of pointing him in the right directions on things he could do to adjust his business. And the first thing we did was we immediately signed up with a home warranty company. Now, if you look at the last 2 live streams that we did, he went from basically not really too sure if he was even going to stay in business to last week. He had done so much business that he was able to go out and buy another truck, paid for it in full from the work based off of just some adjustments that, I suggested and he took advantage of, and we had success. And those are the things that I've always tried to do with some of the content on my channel. But I thought this would be even a better experience because this is a window into what Mel is doing. He is rebranding his business. He is building a team, servicing the customers, building the back end of his business. And every week we keep, we talk on the phone quite a bit during the week. And it's like we keep building it. We're building it. We're talking about how do we build our budgets for a business. You just don't want to go out there and service a bunch of customers and not have a plan with what you're trying to accomplish, because you won't be profitable and you do a lot of work, and your chances of success diminish. Most businesses after 5 years, 90% of all businesses are out of business after 5 years. I think 50% fail within 2 years. So you have to be pretty strategic. And a lot of the stuff that I'm sharing with Mel, I'm sharing it. I'm being proactive. I'm sharing with him. And for one instance, and maybe you can share with this if it's something you can talk about. I mentioned to Mel about a week ago, you got to watch these suppliers because typically they're going to overbill you on your invoices for your parts and equipment 5 to 6% a month if you're not paying attention. And we just had a conversation the other day. What'd you find, Mel? And then did anything happen?
So I was going through my invoice. I basically had the supplier invoice, and I went to, my American Express card and kind of reconciling it. And I noticed for like my last purchases, the bill was supposed to be like $2,200, but when I actually seen it on the American Express card invoice, it was $2,900. And so I immediately got off the phone this morning and requested to send them an invoice for that last bill that I was billed. And they had an issue where they pretty much charged me almost $600 more for something that I didn't even purchase. So it was just, they called it data entry error.
We talked about that, right?
Yeah, they called it a data entry error. And I'm like, hey, that's payroll, that's the uniforms, that's gas, that's
they fixed it, right?
What's that?
They fixed it, right?
Of course, they fixed it, and
$600, wasn't it?
$600, and they on my next purchase here, they're going to work with me here, help me out for that inconvenience. But yeah, if I would have been aware of it, I would have never known if I wouldn't have sat down and literally went through the numbers and reconciled them. I would have never known it.
Yeah, and we already talked about that. And
yes, sir.
Joe, does it put enough customers in front of you that you don't worry so much about what they are paying? Please keep it up. These have been awesome. Mel, if you were to take a step back and it was just maybe you and a helper, would you say this warranty company will provide you with enough customers to make a decent living, in your opinion?
Yes. Joe, go do choice. And honestly, they flood your email, 16 to 25 calls a day. You can try to hit them all. I think on a good week or so span, I hit like 10 of them. They're great for filling your plate. If you really don't have anything, no existing customer database, it's great. It's basically like a tree with free hanging fruit. You can go and pick it. You don't have to wait for this fruit to grow or water it. It's already there. You just go pick it.
Yeah. So, in theory, if you were a regular decent customer or technician, and let's say all you had was an invoice book from Staples, right? Breaking it down to the ridiculous, right? And you had a Ford Ranchero. I use that because there was a guy that did home warranty work and he drove a Ford Ranchero. I don't know when they stopped making those, but it was kind of like a unicorn. But if you had an invoice where you could write it and you were decent working with the customers, and let's say you had 10 service calls and let's say you average $200 a service call and you had, $100 in gas in the week and maybe $400 in parts, you're still going to make $1,500. And that's without even really getting serious. I mean, is that realistic?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can pick to choose the calls you want. You don't have to go on them. I mean, they let you choose. You can literally choose a call and say, hey, I'll be there in 2 weeks. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you choose a call right away.
We ain't trying to make them wait 2 weeks.
No. And usually you get ahead. Normally you're going to call them and say you're going to go ahead. But it's awesome to be able to fill out for 2 weeks. And then you can make adjustments based on what's happening on your schedule upon that, versus just waiting for customers to come.
Yeah, I was always that was the shuffling of the schedule. I was always throwing customers forward and pulling them back to keep filling the day, to keep the labor with the technicians full. You know what I mean? Like if I only had like one small job, but I had a big job waiting and I only had one small job for the following day, I'd try and pull that job ahead so I could move that maybe big install ahead a day, so it'd free up a day in the schedule in the future.
Mm.
So you got to become like a master of juggling the schedule. But how are you feeling, Mel? How are you physically feeling after all this activity for the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't see it, look at my eyes. I'm beat. You put a lot of energy into something, and it's what you want. It's your desire. It's your aim. And sometimes it can be tough when in that process you don't see the progress necessarily that you want. But I'm still very hopeful, and it's just adjustments, remaining flexible, adapting and overcoming the process. And when I say flexible, not just with myself, with my employees, with my family, with myself, with my kids, that helps when you can say, okay, hey, it's just a day. We can bounce back. Let's just take this on the chin and regroup. But physically, I'm tired. I haven't really slept. I've been sleeping on my couch for the last 2 to 3 days just because I've been up trying to get things ready with running 2 crews, going from no crew to 2 crews. I'm excited about Sunday to just hang out with my family, kind of catch up with them, be with my kids. That'll going to give me some fuel for the next week. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm very tired.
And we're just getting into the real busy season. So, and I'm working like that as well. And I completely understand where you're at, because it's like if anybody's had a newborn, a business is like a baby. You really have to nurture it and take care of it and feed it and comfort it. And you can't not take care of it if you want to be successful, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on that, Mel?
Exactly. I mean, it's just like a baby, at least for me, I would do whatever I had to do to help it survive and give it the best chance. And same thing for my business. I'm going to do the best thing I can do and give myself a chance, which, that I believe I have more than chance. I'm closer than I've ever been. So I'm kind of with you on the philosophy is like, if you want something, you're going to go through something for it. You can't want something great and think it's just going to come. I think the Marines had a great philosophy. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to go through hell. This is kind of like that process for me. And I'm all right with it. In the process, I'll become what I need to be.
In addition to all the work you've been doing, what are some of the things you actually did, like building on your business? Because you have to build a business. That's what we're doing here. And that's what Mel's doing. What are some of the activities that you worked on actually building the business this week, in addition to everything else you're doing?
I would say as far as like infrastructure, the back office infrastructure thing.
Whatever you were working on.
I'm still turning on more numbers, so that's something to bring in more work. I'm now reaching out to property management companies to become a preferred vendor locally here. My phone systems here is finally set up, so I've been working with that. I stopped by a couple days ago at a local guy here who does like vehicle wraps. He's going to be stopping by tomorrow to measure up and kind of give us a quote on that. I stopped by a local embroidery shop for some hats and uniforms. We want to be professional and be standardized to each other. So those are some of the big things that I got to do this week. I still have some other things, like I bought that box truck. I got to go get it inspected next week. You got 10 days to do that after the purchase. I went and got it notarized. So all those things that got done, some of them just, you can only get so much done. So next week, some of those will push over. And I'll have a day and I can get those done.
Are you using your list at all, or keeping track of what you got to do for some of these items?
Absolutely. That list is with me all the time. Matter of fact, it's right here. I always have a backpack and it's always in there.
Can you show us what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Because someone might be just watching this for the first time, and maybe explain to them what we got going on.
So I have a notebook here, essentially, that has everything that I need to do when I'm here. So like if I do have a slow day and I'm in the office, I can come in here and say, Mel, okay, last time you were working on this, now we need to go back to it. Like flat rate pricing is something that I'm working on with House Call Pro. So if I got a slow day here, I can sit down and chunk some of that out, work on flat rate pricing. If I switch to another place, I have like indoor air quality and duct cleaning. What I want to work on, giving a good, better, and best platform instead of just having one type of offering.
A lot of work, ain't it, Mel?
It is. And I like the book because then I don't got to store it in my noggin. And that gives me time to work on other things in my brain instead of this. So if you can offload your thoughts, kind of like a parking lot, you can always revisit that parking lot when you're ready and kind of chunk out what you need to. So on days the guys are necessarily not that busy. They're just doing maybe some cleanings and some duct cleanings. Those are days I can come back, call some customers on old quotes. I have a list of that. And just always trying to be proactive. I'm like on a hunter mode when it comes to finding work. Picking the right choices for choice home warranty, property management, servicing our existing customer bases, targeting social media. Those are all things I feel like you just got to constantly be attacking in a little bit at a time. So that's been helping me tremendously to just do that, chunk things out. And when I do have free time, I just go back to my book and I get back to it.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're building it. You're building a business, and that's what it takes, because that's going to become your it's like a diary. I used to have stacks of them with rubber bands around them because I'd fill out a sheet, and then like I might have a contact number for somebody that I talked to, but I wasn't quite ready to make a decision on it. So I might, flip through it, because I used to always date my stuff. That way I could always flip through it, open up my journal and go, okay, I remember talking to so-and-so about this and we were there, and then my thoughts might have changed and my decision might have changed, or I might be more ready to make a purchase from a vendor, or maybe, add something that I've been, thinking about, but I wasn't quite ready monetarily because maybe business was slow. A lot of times when it's slow, you start working on getting quotes for different things, looking for trucks and this, that, and the other. So when the money comes, the work's already done with the research, if that makes any sense. Or you've put more energy into making a better decision previously, so when it is time to make that decision, you can move faster. I mean, if that makes any sense. Because as a business owner, you got to make decisions constantly. Buy this, sell this, do this work, not do this work. Is this person working tomorrow? And my thought was, if I can make 8 out of 10 decisions correctly, that means 2 bad ones, I can be successful. And then over time, you get better at making those decisions, because sometimes you can't wait. You got to make a decision, good, bad, or indifferent. So I'm glad you're using that. We've started kind of haphazardly throwing out some goals for building a budget for a business, and like how much business you should be doing. What are your targets? Like how many duct cleans you want to do, how many change outs you want to do, how many service calls a year you want to do. And I threw some kind of numbers out there for Mel to put on his whiteboard so he could kind of visualize what he's trying to accomplish. We want to do like 150 complete system change outs. We want to do 1,000 service calls. We want to do 300 duct cleans. And as we start to grow this thing, or Mel starts to grow his business, we can break that up by the month based on his data on, is he busier in the summer? What months are busiest? And then once we kind of start to understand that collage, Then we can break down a marketing budget to wrap around that and say, okay, well, if I'm normally slower at this time of the year, I'm going to focus the majority of my advertising budget previous to that so I can iron out or smooth out the peaks and valleys of my business, make it a little more consistent, because when it's more consistent, you can hire people and you can keep them busy. Because the last thing you want to do is hire somebody and then not be able to keep them busy, because then they get mad at you. And that's kind of the growing pains. They get mad at you. Here's the deal. Everybody goes to work someplace wants to work full time and have a consistent paycheck. We all got bills to pay. I'm no different. You're no different, Mel. So it's as you're growing a business, it's a struggle to find a good, high quality employee that can work around your growing pains of not having consistent work. So we're working on it. And I spent a lot of time, trying to share all the information that I learned when I was in business with Mel, because I know what he's going through. He's in the trenches, getting his ass kicked every day. And I think a lot of my information that I share with you has got to be like right on point. And sometimes it's
too on point. I remember the banker. That was great. I was like deja vu.
Well, why don't you share that story, Mel? What can you tell us a little bit about?
Yeah. So we had talked, and you had said, at some point once you start selling more equipment, people will offer you more things. The banker, the distributors, and sure enough, we had that awesome week where we sold like 6,600 in a week. The following week, we're doing well, and I get a call. Didn't even know the number I picked up. My bank's never called me, and I've probably been with them for 20 years. And the call was, would you like a line of credit? Would you like a credit card? How can we help you? What type of services are you looking for? It was kind of ironic that you had that conversation with me, and sure shit, they called, and that was the conversation. Got the couple inside.
Yeah, you start getting successful, and the way the story goes is when I was in business, I used to. I never borrowed any money. I always pay. If I couldn't pay for it, I didn't get it, just because that's how I like to operate. It just makes me hungrier. So I used to have bankers always come by once a month and bring me candy, take me out to lunch, and they wanted me, they wanted me to borrow money, this, that, and the other, and I just don't. I run everything on a cash basis. Not that I deal in cash, but what I'm saying is like I'm very conservative with the money when I was in business, and so I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready to sell my business. So I let my banker look at my finances, and I go, hey, what do you think of this? And he goes, man, that's a cash cow. And thinking the way I think, I go, would you loan somebody the money to buy this thing? And he said, absolutely. So once the bank told me that my finances were in such good order that he would loan somebody the money to give to me, I found a buyer and threw him at the bank, and then the bank paid me. So, but that's another episode. But we've been on a little over an hour here, Mel. I know you're whooped. You got a big day tomorrow. We're going to learn some stuff this week. We're going to do some more business, and appreciate everybody stopping by. It's just the first time you're watching it. We're going to do this 8:30 on Fridays, just to kind of check in with Mel. And then I know Billy wasn't able to make it tonight. He had some other things going on, but he's also a relatively newer business person. HVAC. He's been, I think, about probably 60 days, maybe a hair longer. He's having some success in a different part of the country, and
rock there, baby.
Yeah, because of the YouTube channel, I was able to connect with him and Billy. They're able to share our stories. I've been able to share some of my experience with them, try and help them, make some good decisions and how to, run their business. And we just, everybody wants to be a business owner, and we're trying to show you what it's really all about. And
careful what you wish for, huh?
Right. I mean, because here's the deal: it's no turning back. And we're not even getting started when you're cranking a couple $100,000 through the business a month. You can't afford to make $600 mistakes on invoices from your supplier, because that'll wipe you out. But anyways, appreciate everybody stopping by, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Comment,
thanks. Yeah,
like.
give us some comments. If you've got anything you want to hear about, send me an email, or you can email Mel. His is in the description too. So thanks again.
Absolutely.